on our roads. And it's time now for Who Owns Kenya. Tonight we're focusing on leading confectionery and chocolate maker Cadbury Kenya Ltd. If you are a lover of chocolate, candy, biscuits and chewing gum, then pay close attention to this so that you know who's responsible for quenching your craving for all those sweet goodies. With their significant amount of calories that could make you a good candidate for Slim Possible. Now, Cadbury, the makers of Cadbury chocolates, drinking chocolate, sweets and assorted confectionery, has an interesting and a complicated history. The parent company was known as Cadbury Schweppes PLC from 1969 when it merged with the soft drinks manufacturer Schweppes. Then in 2008, Cadbury de-merged with Schweppes. After the corporate divorce, the chocolate and confectionery maker reverted to its original name, Cadbury. The history of the company dates way back to 1824 when the founder, John Cadbury, started selling tea, coffee and drinking chocolate along the streets of Birmingham City, that's in England. A few years later, John Cadbury set up a factory for producing cocoa and assorted drinking chocolates, which he sold mainly to the wealthy because of the high cost of production at the time. So even as you enjoy your cup of drinking chocolate or cocoa today, remember that about 100 years ago, it was a luxury accessible only to the very wealthy. Well, back to John Cadbury now. After a few years of manufacturing the highly priced cocoa and coffee-based soft drinks, he teamed up with his brother Benjamin, and their company became known as Cadbury Brothers of Birmingham Incorporated. In the 1850s, Queen Victoria reduced taxes charged on imported cocoa, thereby helping the Cadbury Brothers to reduce the cost of producing cocoa and drinking chocolate, thus making it more affordable. In fact, at that time, affordable to the ordinary mwananchi in the UK. Incidentally, the Cadbury Brothers belong to the Quakers religious sect, which condemns the taking of alcoholic beverages. As such, the Cadbury Brothers had a religious motivation to promote drinking chocolate, coffee and tea as an alternative to alcohol. Now, over the years, the British-born confectionery manufacturer expanded to have a presence in over 50 countries, but remained significantly controlled by the Cadbury family. In 2008, the company sold its Australian business to the Japanese beer manufacturer Asahi Breweries, something that must have made the teetotaler Cadbury Brothers turn in their graves. Then, in February 2010, the US-based food manufacturing giant Kraft Foods made a successful hostile takeover bid of Cadbury, thereby ending the 186-year-old legacy of the Cadburys. But to complete control of the company, Kraft Foods paid Cadbury family and other private shareholders of Cadbury Incorporated a tidy sum of 18.9 billion US dollars in shillings. That's about 1.58 trillion Kenya shillings. Kraft Foods later changed its name to Mondelez International and has since grown to become a global giant with an annual revenue exceeding 40 billion US dollars. That's about 3.36 trillion Kenyan shillings. So who owns the local franchise of the world's largest chocolate, biscuit and sweet manufacturer? Today we won't have our usual table showing the shareholding structure simply because of the nature of the company's ownership. Now, according to records at the Registrar of Companies, Cadbury Kenya Ltd, which was incorporated in the country in March 1950, remains 100% the property of Cadbury Schweppes Investment BV of Holland, which in turn is owned by Mondelez International, the company with a presence now in 170 countries, and it's listed at the Nasdaq, the world's largest securities exchange. So there you have it. Next time you indulge your sweet tooth and partake of Cadbury sweets, chocolate or any other of their products, you have an idea of the fascinating history of the company and just who owns Cadbury's Kenya Ltd. Now let's take a look at our quote of the week, and it reads, "There is nothing better than a friend unless it's a friend